Welcome to the Shreveport Connection with Tommy. This video is on your Raw and your main event. Results for June the 5th. That was taped. 2018. Happy birthdays for May 31st. Vampiro was born in 1967. June the 2nd. Psychosis. Lex Luger. He was born in 1958. AJ Styles, 1978. Mikey Whipwreck. And June the 2nd. Okay, yeah, June the 2nd. Lex Luger. He was born 1958. Velvet Sky, 1981. June the 3rd birthdays. Braxton Sutter. He was born 1980. June the 4th birthdays. Gorilla Monsoon. He was born 1937. June the 4th also Joe Malenko. He was born 1955. Jazzy Gabbert was born 1982. And rounding out, June 5th birthdays, Kona Reeves from WWE NXT. He was born 1991. That was the year my brother graduated high school. WWE has partnered with Nestle Waters America for a new hashtag Choose Water campaign designed to encourage a healthier lifestyle through water consumption. The campaign includes a sweepstakes to send one family to the WWE SummerSlam pay-per-view in August. The first sweepstakes promo featured Charlotte Flair, and a second promo was the New Day. Don't know which one, but it can be found at this link. More info. The libel and slander jury trial with WWE doctors Chris Amann versus CM Punk and Colt Cabana wrapped up today in Cook County, Illinois, with the jury ruling in favor of Punk and Cabana on all counts filed by Amann. The former WWE superstars will not have anything to pay to Amann. Anyway, it looks like nothing was paid to either people. It was noted that Cabana looked relieved after the verdict, while Punk and wife AJ Lee were crying. Amann was said to be staring off blankly. The trial kicked off last Wednesday over comments Punk made about Amann on Cabana's Art of Wrestling podcast in 2014. A few months after his WWE departure, the jury deliberated just a few hours today. No word yet on what is next for the parties involved, but we'll keep you posted. Amann remains employed by WWE, while Cabana continues to work the indies. Punk has not wrestled since leaving WWE, but he will return to the Octagon for Saturday at UFC 225 in Chicago, facing Mike Jackson, who also has a record of 0-1-0, which now, I'm doing this video late, Punk lost the match, so he is now 0-2-0. Probably not returning to UFC anytime soon. And Mike Jackson goes at 1-1-0. But according to Dana White, he wasn't happy with either talent. Here are the tweets for Chicago Tribune reporter Gregory Pratt and WrestleZone's Nick Hossman, who were in the courtroom during the trial. At WZ Rebel, the jury finds in favor of CM Punk, Philip Jack Brooks, and Colt Cabana, Scott Colton, on all counts filed by Dr. Chris Amann. Neither will have to pay anything. Nick Hossman, WZ Rebel. Cabana looked very relieved. Punk and AJ currently in a tight embrace and crying. Amann is staring off blankly. Gregory Pratt, Royal Pratt on Twitter, at CM Punk, at Colt Cabana, beat at WWE Dr. Chris Amann in court this afternoon. Jury deliberated just a couple hours before handing the doctor a defeat. Rejecting his claims, they defamed him with Thanksgiving 2014 podcast. No word yet on what's next for the parties involved, but we'll keep you updated. Amann remains employed while Cabana continues to work indies. Punk has not wrestled since leaving WWE, but the Octagon on that Saturday. Undertaker has been announced for Saturday, July the 7th. WWE Raw live event from Madison Square Garden in New York City. You can see the dead man on the MSG marquee in a tweet. And the picture behind me there. Taker's last MSG appearance came on September 25th, 2010 as a part of Bret Hart Appreciation Night. He defeated Kane in the main event that night. Unless he appears on an upcoming episode of Raw, this will be Taker's second appearance since the win over John Cena at WrestleMania 34, as he defeated Rusev in a casket match at the Greatest Royal Rumble event in April. Also noted, Ronda Rousey will also make her Madison Square Garden debut at this live event. The arena has announced that she will be facing Raw Women's Champion Nia Jax. So, take it as that is Ronda Rousey will not win the title at the June pay-per-view, Money in the Bank, if it's true. WWE previously had Braun Strowman, Bobby Lashley, and WWE Intercontinental Champion Seth Rollins versus Elias, Sami Zayn, and Kevin Owens advertised, plus Roman Reigns versus Jinder Mahal. For both of those, matches have been pulled from the Madison Square Garden website. Elias versus Finn Balor versus Rollins is now listed. An updated card for the July 7th Madison Square Garden event. Elias versus Finn Balor versus Intercontinental Champion Seth Rollins. Ronda Rousey versus Raw Women's Champion Nia Jax. Appearances by Undertaker, Roman Reigns, Braun Strowman, Bobby Lashley, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Bobby Roode, Jinder Mahal, Sasha Banks, Bayley, Alexa Bliss, Dolph Ziggler, Raw Tag Team Champions, Bray Wyatt, and Matt Hardy. All were advertised for Boulder City event as well. Hall of Famer Shawn Michaels recently spoke with Sky Sports in the UK to promote the upcoming WWE UK title tournament in London. Michaels and Triple H will be appearing live at the Royal Albert Hall that night. Regarding a possible return to the ring, Heartbreak Kid said he would be receptive to an offer, but he gave the warning that fans would not be seeing the same competitor he was in his prime. I've been retired for 8 years now, and when it got to the 5-year mark, I thought people would start asking me, but they just kind of stopped, Michael said. I think it's one of those that you would never say never about, and if it was just for a one-off, then it's something that I would take a look at. It would have to be done the right way and just for one match rather than something that ran for longer. It could be possible, but people would have to accept they wouldn't be getting the showstopper, Mr. WrestleMania, and that I'm now 52 years old. Michael said that most likely option for a ring return would be in a tag team match, perhaps another DX reunion. But he also said there are several current WWE superstars who he would love to lock up with, such as WWE Champion AJ Styles, Daniel Bryan, or Johnny Gargano, who is in NXT. If it was the Shawn Michaels of 10 years ago, I would love to have gotten in the ring with so many of the guys that are competing today, the showstopper said. AJ and Daniel Bryan would be good. And then there's guys in NXT too. Someone like Johnny Gargano would be fantastic. But for a one-off match now, it need to be a tag team match where Hunter, Triple H, and I can just do a few crotch chops and have some fun. End of his interview. WWE issued a fan council survey earlier in the week for feedback on potential new extras to be included in the WWE home video releases and DVD buying habits. They also asked for feedback on these potential DVD releases for 2019. It's a new day. Yes, it is. The Miz, A-lister, John Cena, the face that runs the place. Asuka, Empress of Tomorrow, I Am Phenomenal, the AJ Styles story. The history of the ECW Championship. SmackDown 20th Anniversary, Roddy Piper, unreleased. John Cena match compilation. Greatest matches and moments of Goldust. Best of Roman Reigns, best of Andre the Giant, best of Alexa Bliss, best of Ravishing Rick Rude, best of Charlotte Flair, best of Trish Stratus, best of Dean Ambrose, the very best of Braun Strowman, best of Raw and SmackDown 2018, the best of NXT 2018, the best of pay-per-views of 2018, best of WWE Superstars, 1986 through 1996 run, the best of NXT TakeOver, Sergeant Slaughter, $1 Million Man, Shinsuke Nakamura, Finn Balor, and Four Horsemen, WWE Group. Shadia Shadia recently tweeted this promo from her tryout in Dubai that took place last year. The former TV presenter from Jordan became the first Arab female from the Middle East to sign a contract with WWE in October 2017. As she practices Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, recently told the media that she plans on working with a Jordan-themed persona, but she did not elaborate. As she tweeted the following on her goals in WWE. At Shadia Bseiso, this is my WWE Dubai tryout promo. I moved from Dubai to Orlando, Florida 5 months ago to train at the WWE PC. My goal is to become the first Arab NXT and WWE Women's Champion. I know the journey will be long, but I'm committed to make progress every day. Hashtag we are NXT. Hashtag Shadia Bseiso. Hope I pronounced that name. The Bella Twins YouTube channel posted a video here of Brie Bella discussing the rap battle between WWE superstars and the cast of Glow on Drop the Mic, which airs this Sunday at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on TBS. The show will be hosted by Method Man and Haley Baldwin, and will also feature Chris Jericho versus Layla Ali. The Bella Twins, Alicia Fox, and SmackDown Women's Champion Carmella will be representing WWE. WWE recently applied a new trademark to two WWE VIP terms for what may be a new online series or TV series. Below are two trademark descriptions. Television broadcasting services, cable TV broadcasting services, satellite TV broadcasting services, communication services, namely transmitting streamed sound and audio visual recordings by the internet, cable networks, wireless networks, satellite, interactive multimedia networks, and mobile apps. Entertainment services, namely the production and exhibition of professional wrestling events. Eli Drake is not booked for the July 22nd Impact Slammiversary pay-per-view in Toronto because he is still not committed to staying with the company. According to the Wrestling Observer newsletter, Drake's deal reportedly expired this past weekend, but he did work the Impact TV tapings. To lose a match, two sides continue to talk, but there is no word on a new contract being signed. Regarding a possible return to WWE, Observer confirmed that there is interest, as there has been talk of signing Drake in WWE in recent months. Following a stint on The Rock's TNT series, The Hero, in 2013, Drake signed a WWE developmental deal in mid-2013, but was released on August 1st, 2014. He joined Impact in the spring of 2014. And Eli comments on his contract with Impact expiring, as well as the masterpiece, Chris Adonis' abrupt departure from the company. Drake spoke with the Mirror back in April and recalled in October 2013 Dark match plus his run in WWE NXT, saying NXT was great and terrible at the same time. No, that was when I was already with WWE. Actually, my dark match in 2008 was me and Gene Snitsky against Crime Time in WWE's ECW. The Yoshitatsu thing was just a kind of thrown on me last minute, and that was a hell of an experience, Drake said. At the time, I think they were just messing with us half the time. Bill DeMott, former head coach of WWE's Performance Center, came back and grabbed me 5 minutes before the match was supposed to happen. He said, "Are you ready?" I was like, "Yeah." And he said, "All right, it's you and Yoshi. Hurry up." Okay, haha. I put on my stuff and went out there and had a match. And believe me, it was a stinker. It was terrible. The whole run at NXT, it was great and terrible at the same time. I enjoyed it. I made a lot of friends from it. I actually liked being on some of the workout programs that they had us doing there. You're able to stay crisp by staying in the ring for 5 days a week, but at the same time, it was a lot of BS, especially with Bill DeMott there. But from what I gathered out, with him out of the picture, it sounds like things have changed for the better there. Hopefully the guys are enjoying it more. Drake also commented on if he sees himself staying with Impact or going to WWE or elsewhere. It really depends. I am looking at all my options. I am very grateful for the opportunities Impact has given me and putting me on the stage that they put me on. I also have grown my bank account enormously. I'm doing well on that front, so I'm very grateful for it, Drake said. But at the same time, I'm a businessman. I am going to look into any opportunities that are afforded to me, and anybody who wants to talk and wants to throw numbers my way and anything like that, of course, I'm open to that. Will I say with impact? That's a definite possibility. It could be a likelihood. I really don't know. It really depends on what else is out there. But I am interested in any opportunity that comes my way, that's for sure. Thanks to the source of Wrestling Observer newsletter. Episode number 50 of Triple H podcast with two-man power trip of wrestling. Shane Douglas shared his reaction to the news that Charles Williams, formerly known as Rock and Rebel, had murdered his wife, Stephanie, before taking his own life last Friday inside their Pennsylvania home. In this excerpt from the podcast, available at Podomatic.com, the franchise expressed a deep concern for the children Williams left behind and the long-term trauma they may experience. Full episode, again, go to Podomatic.com. It's such a crazy story, and not just to throw a cliche out there, but this just proves that it's all insane stories that we've heard about in professional wrestling, that there is always something crazier coming down the road to somewhere. I knew Chuck, obviously. I've known him for 2 decades, maybe longer. And he and I always got along, although Chuck and anyone that knows him knows what I'm talking about. He wasn't the kind of guy who would let his hair down with you. If you're talking about subject A, he would say a few things about subject A, and he was on his way, and he was like an overly intense guy. He'd scream about a parking lot type of thing. I didn't read any of the Facebook posts. I didn't know his wife, but my condolences to the family, and obviously the children. This is the biggest heartbreak of this thing to me, is that the kids were in the house, allegedly, from what I am reading online, that the kids were in the house at the time that it happened. Can you imagine if you hear a couple of shots and you find your mother and father just laying there dead? I can't think of anything more horrible for a child. No kid should have to witness something like that, let alone the loss of their mother and at the hands of their father. It just nauseates me if you think about it, that there is a woman dead that lived in fear, and understandably so, and the kids having, aside from what they witnessed at the house, I had read something from one of the neighbors that there was a lot of stuff and language being used. Imagine the kids seeing this on a day-to-day basis and seeing this yelling and screaming. That is not healthy for any child. This on top of it is just a really tragic situation. And that goes without saying it. My condolences go out to the families, to his wife, and especially the kids. Whoever is listening, and if anybody is listening out there from the family, please make sure those kids see some professionals to get that dealt with, because that is obviously going to leave a deep scar on the kids. I don't know the circumstances or anything, but if you are planning on killing somebody, please send the kids to the neighbor's house for the night, and for God's sakes, do something. The whole thing is so nauseating and sickening. Well, John Cena is in another movie, Bumblebee Transformers. Spin-off movie from the Transformers original series, which stars John Cena and hits the theaters on Christmas. And here are some of the comments from Cena. At John Cena being able to play a part in the overall history and legend of hashtag Transformers has been an amazing experience. I hope you all enjoy what we've made, and that we honor the fans and characters of this storied franchise. Every adventure has a beginning. Watch this official trailer at this link below for Bumblebee Now, starring Haley Steinfeld and John Cena. See hashtag Bumblebee movie in theaters this Christmas. WWE taped the following matches in Houston for this week's main event episode. No Way Jose defeated Mike Kanellis. Drew Gulak versus Akira Tozawa. Did not get the results on that. Alright, Raw opens up from the Toyota Center in Houston, Texas. Elias is in the ring. JoJo does introductions. Elias Universal Intercontinental Champion Seth Rollins, saying we will walk with Elias after he wins the title from Rollins at Money in the Bank. Elias talks about how he left Rollins laying on Raw last week with the guitar shot, but he was just as hurt because he had to destroy one of his favorite guitars. Elias shows us a replay on the big screen and plays along while it airs, mocking Rollins and NBA's Houston Rockets as the fans boo. Music interrupts and out comes Rollins to a big pop. Rollins makes his way out slowly, selling the attack from last week as Coleslaw welcomes us to Raw. He's joined in by Corey Graves. Rollins then circles the ring and takes his time as Elias talks trash from the ring, getting ready for a fight with the guitar in his hands. Rollins pulls a steel chair from under the ring, and the fans pop. Rollins enters the ring, and they face off, guitar versus chair. They swing, and Elias loses his guitar. Rollins backs him in the corner with the chair in the air, but there's Jinder Mahal coming from behind. Mahal drops Rollins, the fans boo as they double team the Architect. Music interrupts, out comes Roman Reigns. Reigns hits the rings and gets beat on, but he fights back. Reigns clears the ring of Elias. Jinder and Sunil Singh to a mixed reaction. Reigns helps Rollins up, and the music hits as Raw General Manager Kurt Angle makes his way out. Angle makes a tag team match that will start right now. Angle's music hits, and the fans do the "You Suck" chant. Rollins has the guitar as he and Reigns stand tall as we go to commercial. So that matchup is up next after the break. We see David Otunga is working this week's show tonight, replacing Jonathan Coachman on commentary. Rollins starts out the match and unloads on Jinder while Reigns works over Elias on the floor. Rollins with more offense, in and out of the ring. Reigns tags in and goes to work on Jinder, dropping him with an elbow to the jaw. Rollins comes back in and covers for a 2 count on Jinder. They go to the corner, and in comes Elias for a quick double team. Elias keeps control and drops Rollins over the top rope for a 2 count. More back and forth now. Elias keeps control and has Rollins grounded for a few minutes. Rollins now looks to fight up and out, but Elias takes him right back down and tightens the hold while talking trash. Elias focuses on the neck, goes to drop a big knee, but Rollins moves. Jinder tags in and stops Rollins for tagging. Jinder runs into Boots in the corner. Rollins sends Jinder over the top to the floor as Reigns reaches for the tag. Rollins finally makes the hot tag as Jinder comes back into the ring. Reigns unloads on Jinder and hits a big clothesline. Reigns drops Elias on the ramp and unloads on Jinder with clotheslines in the corner as fans count along. Jinder catches Reigns with a big boot in the face, but Reigns responds with a boot to the face of his own. Elias tags in, but Reigns drops him with a boot. Reigns stands tall to a mixed reaction. Reigns calls for the Superman punch, but has to stop and knock Jinder off the apron. This allows Elias to retreat to the floor to avoid the punch. Reigns goes to the floor and runs around for a drive-by on Jinder, but Singh moves him out of the way just in time. Elias immediately catches Reigns and drops him on the floor with a jumping knee to the face. We go back to commercial. Back for the break, and Elias has Reigns down in the middle of the ring. Jinder tags in and ends up getting a close 2 count. Jinder with an aggressive knee strike before keeping Reigns grounded on the mat. Jinder drops a knee and continues the assault on Reigns. Elias tags in and drops a big knee on Reigns for another close 2 count. Elias then drops Rollins off the apron with a cheap shot, but turns back around to a big right hand from Reigns. They tangle, and Elias drops Reigns for another pin attempt. Jinder tags back in and pounds on Reigns as Reigns paces on the apron, holding the back of his head. Reigns finally gets the opening on Jinder and nails a Samoan drop. Rollins and Elias tags in at the same time. Rollins with a Test press and several strikes. Rollins with a sling blade and a blockbuster for a 2 count. Rollins then charges the corner but gets set to the apron. More back and forth with Rollins taking control and hitting a Falcon Arrow for a 2 count as Jinder breaks up the pin. Reigns stops the collar on Rollins with a Superman punch. Reigns runs around the ring and hits drive-by on Elias. Rollins kicks Elias in the face in the middle of the ring now. Rollins cranks up for the blackout curb stomp, but Singh gets on the apron. Rollins charges at him, but Singh jumps off the apron right into the hands of Reigns. Jinder makes a save and sends Reigns into the steel steps. Jinder tosses Reigns over the barrier into the crowd. Elias takes advantage and rolls Rollins up from behind for a 2 count. Rollins with insecurity on Elias. Rollins runs the ropes and nails a dive on Jinder on the floor, but lands bad on his neck. Singh tries to swing a steel chair at Rollins, but it's blocked. Rollins chases Jinder into the ring, but Elias turns it around with a DDT on top of the steel chair. Elias nails the drift away on Rollins for the win. After the match, Elias and Jinder stand tall as we go to replays. Reigns and Rollins recover in the ring as Elias and Jinder look on from the stage. Still to come segment, Natalya versus Nia Jax and Braun Strowman versus Bobby Roode. Also, the 7-team tag team battle royal to crown new number 1 contenders for the Money in the Bank. Back to commercial. James Harden versus Kurt Hawkins. Back for the break, and Kurt Hawkins is in the ring with an enhancement talent. Well, you think he's going to have his losing streak broke. There's a table set up at ringside with tacos. Hawkins says he's at 199 losses right now, but he won't make it to 200, and he's about to pick up a win. And when he wins, everyone in the arena will get tacos tonight. Hawkins briefly interviews his opponent, James Harden from Houston, like the NBA player from the Houston Rockets, and thanks him for participating. The bell rings and they lock up. Hawkins takes it to the corner and rocks his opponent with a cheap shot. Hawkins then whips Harden into the corner and he goes down. Hawkins more offense until Harden sidesteps in the corner and he hits the turnbuckle. Harden mounts offense, but Hawkins turns him inside out. Hawkins looks to put Harden away, but the music interrupts and out comes Baron Corbin. Corbin is all smiles as he walks to the ring. Corbin enters the ring and hits Harden with the Ender Days. Referee calls for the belt, disqualification. Winner of the match by disqualification, James Harden. Referee calls for the disqualification and Corbin immediately exits the ring. JoJo announces Harden as the winner, confirming the 200 loss for Hawkins. Hawkins is upset. He goes to ringside, but Corbin is waiting at the taco table for him. Corbin decks Hawkins with a fistful of tacos and ends up flipping the table over on him. Corbin leaves as his music hits, and Hawkins tries to recover with taco fixing all over him. Somebody needs to call the border, because all the border food is all over the floor. We see Ronda Rousey and Natalya backstage warming up. Back to commercial. Back for the break. Baron Corbin enters Kurt Angle's office. Angle asks him what that was all about, and Corbin laughs, saying he will explain later, but he has something else to say to Angle. He's tired of being looked over and says he went directly to WWE headquarters and spoke with Raw Commissioner Stephanie McMahon. Corbin has a letter from Stephanie for Angle, and he reads it. Stephanie says due to recent shortcomings on Raw, she is implementing a new checks and balances system, appointing Corbin as the new constable of Raw. The letter says for Angle to consider Corbin as her eyes and ears on Raw. The letter was signed sincerely Stephanie. Angle checks out the letter and isn't happy. Next, we got Nia Jax versus Natalya. We go to the ring. Out comes Ronda Rousey to a pop. She joins the announce on commentary. Raw Women's Champion Nia Jax is out for this non-title match. Natalya was out next. Bell rings and they size each other up. They lock up and Rousey overpowers, sending Natalya right to the mat. They lock up again and Natalya tries to bring Jax down with a headlock, but Jax overpowers again. They face off and Natalya goes for a clothesline, but it barely does anything. Jax sends Natalya to the floor and stands tall as we go back to commercial. More back and forth. After the break, Natalya tries to power up, but Jax drops her with a headbutt. Natalya manages to stun Jax. Natalya with more strikes in the middle of the ring. Jax charges in the corner, but Natalya moves. Natalya drops Jax with a big clothesline and covers for a close 2 count. Natalya yells at the crowd to wake them up. She runs the ropes and steps on Jax's back for a low drop kick. But it looks like she lands bad on her knee. Nia takes advantage and scoops Natalya for the Samoan drop and the win. After the match, Nia's music hits as we go to replays. Natalya sells the knee injury and the referee checks on her. Jax stands near her in the ring. Rousey leaves commentary desk and goes to the ring to check on Natalya. Jax approaches Natalya and asks if she's all right. Rousey stands up and faces off with Jax. Jax says she's just trying to check on Natalya. Rousey tells her just to leave. Referee and Rousey help Natalya out of the ring and to the back as she sells the injury. Natalya's music hits as Jax looks on from the ring. We go to replays again. We go back to the announcers to hype the show. Still to come segment, Finn Balor versus Kevin Owens. Also, Bobby Lashley will respond to Sami Zayn. Bobby Roode's backstage when Renee Young walks in for comments, asking what his mindset is going into his first ever Money in the Bank match. Roode says he's ecstatic, just 2 weeks away from the life-changing match. Roode says he thrives in the spotlight and is excited about climbing the ladder to make history. Roode says when he becomes champion, it will be absolutely glorious. Renee asks about tonight's match with Braun Strowman. Roode's tone changes, and he says he honestly doesn't know. He's been in the business for 20 years and has never seen a man like Braun. Roode says he will use every trick he has, and hopefully that's enough to beat Braun, but his goal tonight is just to survive. Match up next, Braun Strowman versus Bobby Roode. We go to the ring out because Braun Strowman. Bobby Roode was out next. As we go to commercial. Back from commercial, Braun dominates start. Roode looks to mount some offense, but Braun brings him to the mat from the corner. Roode gets some offense in, but Braun blocks a glorious DDT attempt and drops him. Braun more offense and a huge suplex. We get a replay of that suplex. Braun charges in the corner, but runs into an elbow. Braun ends up running into a steel ring post as Roode sidesteps to the corner. Roode goes under the ring and brings out a heavy-duty ladder. Roode bridges the ladder from the apron to the top of the barrier. Roode returns to the ring, but Braun is back to his feet now. Roode tries to lower Braun out of the ring, and it works. Roode runs around the ring and rolls under the ladder bridge, but Braun puts on the brakes and avoids running into it. Roode taunts Braun from the other side of the ladder bridge, and asks what he's going to do now. Braun stares at Roode, raises his fist, and brings them down, smashing the ladder in half. Roode is shocked. Braun catches up with Roode and launches him into the barrier. Braun tosses Roode back into the ring and scoops him for the running power slam, and then Braun covers for the win. After the match, Braun stands tall and looks up at the Money in the Bank briefcase, hanging high above the ring. As the music hits, we go to replays. Braun makes his exit, and Roode recovers. We see Kevin Owens backstage watching what just happened. Charlie Caruso asks for his thoughts as he prepares to face Finn Balor tonight. Owens says Braun is big, Roode has a rope, and the sky is blue. Who cares? Owens doesn't care about any of the other competitors. Owens goes on and says Balor is a perfect example of why the WWE Universe is clueless as they chant for him. He mocks Balor for some of his too sweet failures. Charlie reminds Owens that he interfered in Balor's match with Strowman last week. Owens says that doesn't matter and nothing matters because he will win at Money in the Bank, and tonight it will remind Balor what he really is, nothing more than a made-up Irish myth, as Owens walks off. So to come segment, Finn versus Owens back commercial. Back from the break, Ronda Rousey is in the trainer's room with Natalya as she ices her leg. Natalya gets off the table and is on crutches now. Nia appears and apologizes. She asks if Natalya will be able to compete in Money in the Bank. Rousey asks Jax if she thinks if she's already done enough. Jax says they were having a match and Rousey should know this isn't ballet. Jax says she's just as much of a friend to Natalya as Rousey is. Rousey says it would be best if Jax just left. Jax doesn't want to leave and they have some words. Natalya cuts him off and says she just needs some time to herself. She leaves on crutches as Jax and Rousey exchange looks. We go to the ring. Out comes Raw Tag Team Champions Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy. As Renee introduces them, the lights come up and the delete chant starts up. Renee mentions the Tag Team Battle Royal coming up and asks how it feels to be out here to watch the entire division battle, so to see who will challenge them next. Wyatt talks about how men lust for power, how it drives them, consumes them, and eventually destroys them. Wyatt says any team who has the audacity to face the deleters of the world should understand that they're facing woken warriors and fireflies, not just men. They will be facing gods, and then will truly understand what it means to be woken. Matt goes on like only he can and asks Renee if she considers herself woken. Yeah, yep, she says. Matt says that is wonderful and calls for the crowd to give her the standing ovation. Matt says it's time for the battle royal to commence. He calls on Senor Benjamin to, and Wyatt interrupts and says, let it be known that the team who wins tonight will suffer first, and then they will be deleted. The music hits and to end the segment. Back to the announcers hyping Money in the Bank on the WWE Network. Still to come, the Tag Team Battle Royal to crown new number one contenders. Back to commercial. Tag Team Battle Royal to crown new number one contenders. The Revival versus Heath Slater and Rhino versus Breezango versus Titus Worldwide versus B Team versus Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler versus The Ascension. Back from the break, and several tag teams are waiting in the ring. Titus O'Neil and Apollo Crews are out next, followed by Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas. Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler were out next. JoJo starts announcing the rules, but the teams are already going at it. The winners of the match will earn a match with the Raw Tag Team Champions Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy at Money in the Bank. Ziggler and McIntyre watch from a safe place early on, but they join the action. Drew unloads a victor in the corner. Titus works on Ziggler and almost gets him over the top. Dash Wilder and Scott Dawson take Drew to the corner. Connor drops Heath in the corner. Rhino and Titus go at it. Rhino works on Fandango. Tyler almost gets Ziggler out twice. Ziggler springboards up from the apron, but Breeze kicks him to the floor. Ziggler and McIntyre have been eliminated. McIntyre drops Slater with a headbutt on his way out of the match. Ziggler returns to the ring as he and McIntyre take shots at the other two superstars while the referees try to get them out of the ring. They hit the Claymore zigzag combo on Rhino. Ziggler and McIntyre finally leave the ring as we go to commercial. Back for the break, and Titus was eliminated during the break. The Ascension and Breezango are dumped by the Revival next. We're down to the Revival, B-Team, and Slater and Rhino now. The Revival keep control of both teams. Rhino sends Dash to the floor, eliminating the Revival. Slater super kicks Dawson on the way out. And by the way, this match was one tag team member got eliminated, the other one can't stay in to represent the team. As Rhino worked over Axel in the corner and turns his attention to Dallas, the B team double teams Rhino now. Axel drops Rhino with a DDT. The B team sends Rhino to the apron, but he hangs on. Slater comes over with a big kick for both opponents. Slater then scoops Dallas, but accidentally stumbles back and knocks Rhino off the apron with Bo's leg. Rhino and Slater have been eliminated for the win. After the bell, B team sends Slater over top as the wild celebration begins. The Slater was not officially out of the match until he got sent over the top. Still to come, Lashley responds to Zayn. Back to commercial. Back from the break, we get Bobby Lashley coming out to the ring. Bobby says Sammy has been talking a lot about him lately, but where he comes from, they do things differently. Lashley calls Sammy to the ring to come and say what he has to say to his face. As the music hits, Lashley waits, but there's no sign of Sammy. Sammy finally appears in the crowd and says there's no chance he's getting in the ring because the last time he was in there was Lashley injured his hand. Sammy has a hand taped up and talks about how the injury has inconvenienced him this past week. Sammy goes on about how he's a genius and how he never stops scouting his opponents. He used a little tool called Instagram to get a better idea of Lashley. He mocks Lashley for posting motivational quotes on Instagram and shows some of Lashley's recent posts. Sammy says that the simple people of Texas may fall for these quotes, but Sammy, being an intellectual, he dug deeper and logged into one of his many anonymous Instagram accounts. Sammy says he sent Lashley a direct message and was sent back a copy and pasted response and a link to the VIP exclusive Bobby Lashley fan club, where he can get a Lashley headband for $9.99 or a t-shirt for $39.99. Sammy says Lashley is just trying to make a cash grab with the fans, just trying to get over on them like he has Sammy. Lashley asked a good question. Where is Sammy going with all this? Lashley thought Sammy, of all people, would face him in the ring. Sammy says he doesn't talk face to face with liars. Lashley doesn't know if he should laugh with or at Sammy or feel sorry for him. Sammy has gone higher in the crowd now. Sammy goes on about how everything to do with Lashley is a lie. Lashley finally gets upset when Sammy questions if he was really in the army. Did he really serve his country? Or is that just another lie? Fans chant USA now, and Lashley stares Sammy down from the ring. Sammy is way up in the audience now. Lashley's music hits, and the two stare down each other down again. The announcer shows what happened during the Reigns and Rollins versus Elias and Mahal earlier. They also hyped the Money in the Bank card. Charlie's backstage with Jinder Mahal and Sunil Singh now, asking what is the heart of his issue with Roman Reigns. Jinder says Reigns is a jealous, bitter man. Jinder then says Reigns senses his superiority and is threatened. Jinder goes on and says something isn't in the air. The winds are shifting, and Roman will soon find that storm is coming. Charlie sends us to Renee Young with Reigns, who asks for a response to what Jinder just said. Reigns says Jinder must have forgotten who he is and what he's done around here. Reigns says Jinder should go check his resume. Reigns knocks Jinder's resume and says he's done nothing around here lately. The camera cuts back to Jinder, then back to Reigns as they trade words. Reigns says he will come say all this to Jinder's face. Reigns knows he's in the arena and tells him to stay put, so he can come shut his mouth for him. Camera follows Reigns to the back as he looks for Jinder. Reigns drops Singh first and goes at it with Jinder. They brawl through the backstage area with Reigns taking control, referees and officials breaking up as we go back to the announcers. Alexa Bliss, Sasha Banks, and Ember Moon versus the Riot Squad. We go to the ring for a 6-women action as Alexa makes her way out first. Back to commercial. Back for the ring. Out comes Sasha, followed by Ember Moon. Out next comes the Riot Squad. Liv Morgan, Sarah Logan, and Ruby Riot. Ember starts off with Ruby. Back and forth start the match. Ember drops Ruby with an elbow before they run the ropes. Ember drops Ruby on her face and launches herself in from the apron for a close 2 count. Ember can't decide who to tag, and Ruby is almost turns it around. Bliss tags in and works on Ruby's arm. Bliss lands bad on her leg. Ruby backs off, and Bliss tags in Sasha. Bliss goes to the floor and sells the injury, acting like she's going to leave. Ember and Sasha stare at Bliss, looking like they're not sure about the injury. Back to commercial. Back from the break, we now have a handicap match. Riot Squad keeps Ember down with a frequent tag. Moon avoids a submission and finally gets an opening. Ember looks to tag in Sasha, but Ruby drops her. Sasha finally gets a hot tag, and Liv comes in. Sasha unloads with clotheslines. Sasha drops Liv with a big kick. Sasha with double knees in the corner now. Sasha with another set of knees in the corner. Liv sends Sasha to the apron, but Sasha fights her off. Sasha decks Ruby as she approaches the apron. Liv finally gets a counter in the corner and drops Banks again for a close 2 count. Logan and Morgan with more tags and to keep control of Banks. Fans try to rally for Banks as Liv keeps her down in a full Nelson. Banks fights up and out, barely connected with a kick. Sasha tries to make the tag now. She drops Liv again and looks to crawl for the tag. Logan runs around and pulls Ember off the apron. Ember fights Ruby off and Logan off. Liv drops Ember off the apron and Logan sends Ember into the barrier. Banks takes advantage and rolls Banks up for a 2 count. Liv with a drop kick to Banks for another close 2 count. Liv keeps Banks down and tags in Ruby for a double team, but Banks blocks it, sending Liv to the floor. Banks comes flying off the top to take Ruby and Logan down at the same time in the ring. Banks reaches for a tag, but there's no one there. The music hits. Out comes Bayley to the ring. It looks like Bayley is in the match now, replacing Alexa Bliss as she unloads on Logan and then covers for the win. After the match, Bayley stands tall as the music hits. Sasha and Ember return to the ring to join Bayley as the referees raise their arms. Riot Squad looks on from ringside. Angle is is backstage with Baron Corbin watching what happened. Corbin asks if Angle is going to stand for that, and Angle says it's none of his business. Corbin reminds Angle of his new role from Stephanie McMahon and says nowhere in the WWE rulebook does it state that a superstar can insert themselves into a match. He suggests Angle go and inform the winners that they really didn't win, or deal with Stephanie. Corbin smiles as Angle walks off. We go to commercial. Back for the break, we see Bayley, Sasha, and Ember Moon backstage talking about the win. Kurt Angle walks up and informs them that the Riot Squad actually won the match because Bayley wasn't in the match. Angle leaves. Ember storms off first, and she isn't happy. Banks walks away from Bayley first. After looking at her, we see Corbin in another backstage area, apparently talking down to referee John Cone. We go to the stage, and Big Show is out with athletes and representatives from the Special Olympics. Representing Texas, Show talks about the 2018 Special Olympics USA Games that takes place next month and introduces President and CEO Beth Knox. Show talks about how he's worked with the Special Olympics and how he's proud to stand with them. Show calls for the fans to stand and give it up for the 2018 Special Olympics Games and Team Texas. Show's music hits, but is interrupted by Finn Balor's music as it's time for the main event. Balor comes to the stage and greets the Special Olympians before heading to the ring. Balor versus Kevin Owens was your main event. Balor goes to the ring, poses in the corners. For his entrance, we go to commercial. Back for the break. Following is announced for next week. Alexa Bliss versus Natalya versus Sasha Banks versus Ember Moon. Then Braun Strowman versus Bobby Roode versus Finn Balor versus Kevin Owens, plus a face-off between Nia Jax and Ronda Rousey. Kevin Owens was out next, followed back and forth to start the match for a few minutes. Owens mocks Balor and pays for it. Owens ends up on the floor for a breather. Owens returns to the ring and takes Balor down with a headlock to keep him grounded in the middle of the ring. Balor fights up to his feet, but Owens drops him with a shoulder for a 1 count. Owens goes back to the headlock to keep Balor grounded. Balor turns it around and keeps Owens down by his arm. Owens counters and drops Balor, yelling at him about why this is his show. Owens stomps and chops Balor around the ring now. They run the ropes and Balor rolls through on a roll-up attempt, nailing the basement drop kick for a 2 count. Balor keeps Owens down by his arm again. Owens counters and unloads on Balor, beating him down. As the referee warns him, Owens backs off and whips Balor hard into the corner, sending him to the mat. More back and forth now. Balor with an overhead kick from the apron. Balor goes up top for the coup de grace, but Owens rolls to the floor to avoid it. Balor stands tall as go back to commercial. Back for the break, Owens takes Balor back down. Owens yells at the referee to check on the submission. Balor fights to his feet, but Owens decks him. Owens runs into Boots in the corner. Balor mounts more offense. Owens goes up top, but Balor rocks him with an insecurity, sending him to the mat. Balor climbs up for the coup de grace, but Owens rolls to the floor again. Balor runs the ropes and launches out onto Owens, taking him down on the floor. Balor clutches his own back, and we get a replay. Balor brings Owens back into the ring, but he rolls right back out to the floor. Owens hangs Balor up on the top rope. As he comes back in, Owens takes back control and keeps Balor down with an arm bar in the middle of the ring. Balor finally fights to his feet, but Owens throws him right back to the mat. Owens goes for the senton, but Balor rolls out of the way. Owens goes for the pop-up powerbomb, but it's blocked. Balor counters it and hits the double stomp to the gut. They both get up and go at it with Balor unloading in the corner. Balor keeps control and drops Owens again for a close 2 count. Balor waits for Owens to get up in the corner. Owens counters and rolls Balor up for a 2 count. Owens comes right back with a super kick for another close pin attempt. Balor looks to put Owens away after more offense. Balor launches Owens into the corner as he goes down hard. Balor goes to the top for the coup de grace, but Owens crosses him and shuts him down. Owens turns Balor upside down in the corner and stomps away now. The referee warns Owens, but Owens keeps stomping until the referee calls for the bell for the DQ. We're in a match by DQ. Finn Balor. After the match, Owens keeps assaulting Balor as the bell rings. Owens goes to the top and hits a frog splash on Balor. Owens pulls the ladder from under the ring now. Owens brings the ladder into the ring and stands it up. Owens climbs up near the briefcases and looks out. Owens looks to hit a frog splash from the top of the ladder, but he changes his mind and goes down for a few steps. Balor takes advantage of the hesitation and brings Owens down, sending him into the corner. Balor climbs up top of the ladder and brings Owens down, sending him into the corner. Balor climbs up top to the top of the ladder and hits the coup de grace for a pop. Balor climbs back up the ladder and grabs the briefcase. Balor sits on top of the ladder with the title shot. As his music hits, we go to replays. Owens rolls around in pain on the floor as Balor clutches the briefcase up high above the ring as Raw goes off the air. And I did not get any results for Dark Match Main Event. That concludes my Raw and results for your main event. Thanks again. Peace out. See you when I be. If you don't know, just comment, brothers and sisters.